In part one, we saw how far I could drive the ball initially. In part two, we checked out my limited range of motion. In part three, we got movements specifically for my ankles. And now on to part four and the next body part. Our returning champ, physical therapist, and pride of Wellington, Kansas, Josh Darby is back. I've been doing the ankle movements. I do feel a little, I wouldn't even call it soreness, fatigue in my ankles. Is that fatigue to be expected?
It is, because you are taking a range of motion which is not very big and you're expanding upon it. So your body has to get used to that new range of motion. And so when you first get that range of motion, your body's going to tire very quickly because it has to work harder to maintain that motion. So now as you do it more often, it's going to get easier for you.
Okay, so it doesn't feel like a sore muscle after doing, whatever, bench press. It feels a little different. Fatigue, just tiredness, not soreness.
Right.
But that's what we're looking for.
That's to be expected. And now that we move up into the hips, right, you're going to probably see some of the same type of things going on in your hips. Is now as you get more range of motion, you're going to have some fatigue and tiredness as you go along.
Okay. Yeah. So that fatigue, I'm calling it, is the feeling of hitting bombs approaching me.
Right.
The bombs aren't approaching me.
Right.
I'm approaching the ability to hit bombs.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on to the hips. So we've got the ankle movements. Now what?
Now we're going to move up into the hip region. Okay. So, and for all you Happy Gilmore fans, right, it's all in the hips, right? So we're going to move up into the hip region today. I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do to help improve your hip mobility. Okay. So lacrosse ball, very important piece of the whole equation here. You're going to take that lacrosse ball, and what I want you to do is you're going to find that area basically right where this bone is on the side, and then you have your sits bone on the back. You're going to find the meat of your glutes right in that. And you're just going to put the ball in between you and the wall. So go ahead and come off the door frame a little bit, and just come onto this gray part of the wall here, off-white, and just kind of put your glute right there, and you're just going to roll in that area for just a minute or two, and you're going to find some spots that are a little tighter, and you're going to feel maybe some discomfort, and that's okay. We're just trying to take that tightness in your glute, and we're trying to kind of work it out just a little bit.
Okay. So just do this again, both sides.
Yeah, do both sides for maybe a couple of minutes, and then we can move into our stretch after you're finished with that. So you've rolled out both hips. You're going to get in a door frame. Okay. And what you're going to do is, let's say we really want to stretch the right side. I'm going to move over here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your left foot, you're going to cross it over your right. Okay. And then what you're going to do, maybe scooch towards me just a little bit, maybe a step. Okay. Left foot's going to go across right. Okay. Then I'm going to take my hands over to the left side of the doorway. And then what I'm going to do is take my hip, and I'm just going to try and bring it towards the door frame as I keep everything solid there with my hands.
Am I going for this or rotation here?
You're going to go more for this here, but you might feel some on the outside of your rib cage and everything too. And that just indicates that you have some tightness there also.
Do I want to go higher or lower? What angle?
I would say a little bit lower here, because we're trying to isolate hips a little bit more, but you're just taking your hips as a driver and you're just trying to drive them straight towards the door frame on the right side and then come back to center. Yep, just like that.
That does feel tight.
Feel that? Yeah, absolutely. Right. So you want to do a little bit of that, and then what you want to do is you want to get in that position again. You want to find your in range with your hips. You want to go all the way here. Then you want to take your hips and just let them rotate left and right, just like that, which is very limited on you also. Yep. And so you just want to rotate back and forth a little bit and just kind of work that for about 10 to 15 repetitions. And then you want to have that position again. Then you want to take your hips back to front, just like that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So then you would repeat that same sequence on the other side. Right over left, arms to the right, and trying to take that hip towards the...
someone need to stand up. Okay, so both sides, do all three of those.
All three positions.
And then switch to the other side?
Switch to the other side. So do those three positions first on one side, then switch to the other side, 10 to 15 repetitions of each. Okay. And then what you do after that is you do basically the same lunge sequence that you did after you did the ankle mobility. So now we do the rotational lunges, the pivots you did there, and then you also go side to side, and then front to back, both sides.
We have the ankle mobility stuff that we worked on last time. We have the ball on the door stuff. Do I do those in conjunction, ankle first, then the hip stuff in the door, and then again back to the ankle stuff?
Yeah. So I would do ankle mobility first, like we did in the first video. Then skip the lunges, go right up into the hips, work on the hip mobility, and then go to the lunge sequence after that.
Okay. So we've got the ankles, we've got the hips. I'm going to do that. And then what?
And then you want to do your lunge sequence after
And then
that.
the lunge
Yeah,
sequence.
yeah.
What's the next part of the body that we'll work on?
So next we're going to move up into the middle part of your back, upper back, and shoulder region.
Okay. So next video, part 5, I think.
Part 5 of 5.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So then that we'll put together and it'll be a daily workout that involves my ankles, my hips, and my back.
Trunk and shoulders.
I'm going to do that for 30 days and I'll be driving, do you think 400, 450?
I mean, you're going to be driving better. I can tell you that already. I mean, you're going to be, you know, who's the real big guy on the tour that just hits bombs all the time?
Bryson,
yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do?
I mean, you're going to try and do it.
Oh, yes,
I don't know if you're going to get to that
definitely
point, but I think your ball's going to travel a lot farther.
Love to see it. That's what I'm about. All right. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in part 5. You can download all of these exercises and movements in PDF form for free. Follow the link in the description, and thanks for watching.